Good morning. I hope everybody that listens is keeping well. I was sitting here enjoying the nice weather, reading a little bit. Today here is Carnival, and most are not working. And people, get into costumes, disguise themselves, and they go out and party. While others chill at home with their families. It's not every day that you get a holiday in the middle of the week. I was sitting here thinking about the purpose of life. I think when we become grown-ups, when we don't require anymore the help of our parents, we ought to know more about our body, take care of it the best we can because it's ours, right? So it would be wise to know a little bit more about it, right? Thing that Western culture doesn't want you to bother. They want you more ignorant possible about the body. The same about money and investment. They don't want you to know about that. They just want you to know how to be a consumer, you're following orders, and shut up, right? A cog in the machine, right? So we ought to know more about this thing that is ours: food, rest, sleep, exercise, all those things. So that would be the main purpose of life. Then, once, you know, shelter, once that is acquired, then next thing would be family. Something I completely messed up. I failed on that part. Around my time, it seemed like a good idea to stay single. Everybody was single, no strings. Everybody was worried about their, you know, degrees, worried about their studies, worried about their jobs, worried about leveling up, so to speak, in their careers and staying mobile, staying, no strings attached. You could jump from company to company or from country to country a lot easier. The salaryman nowadays, is working under, half a year contracts, and they make them jump from place to place. It's cheaper for the companies, and it's a really awful situation. And people, keep their affairs inside a box, and they don't even, empty the box. They just travel with that box from one place to the other. They don't even have time for family or whatever. The ones who do get married, I suppose, there's a small chance they will stay together until death do them apart. Divorce is very common even here. Most of my, relatives got divorced. Um, and my friends are not married either. I don't know. So that would be the second thing, family. Um, I once was listening to someone. They said, in life you should at least have children, if not plant trees or write books. You should leave something behind. Something that future generations might remember you of. And I was like, yeah, that sounds nice. But even if you have children, even if you plant trees, nobody's going to remember you. If you leave a book or a painting behind, a music behind, if it becomes well known, yeah, you might be remembered. But that's not the type I wanted to be remembered by, because, art that is expensive, it's just for the purpose of monetization, for the elites to exchange between themselves. When money loses value, The elites start buying gold, silver, raw materials. They start buying land, and then they turn to art and they start investing in art, not because they like it or it's because it's pretty, no, because it's unique. So because it's unique, then it's one of a kind, then it has some value. So well, that's why they invest in art, and your name will be remembered because of that. It's not because it's beautiful, or no, I have a Rembrandt, I have a Picasso. No, it's because of the money that it represents, not the art itself. You know, I was listening to Hegel, someone talking about Hegel, right? And he's one of these navel gazers from Germany or whatever, or France. And he was saying art is dead. He was the type that, God is dead, art is dead. You go to watch, to look, and you will find art in museums, which is almost like a prison. Everything is locked behind bars. You can't get close to the prisoner. You have to look it from afar, and it's locked and guarded and everything. Art is gone. It's dead. Well, that's a horrible nihilistic way to see the world. Nowadays, art is not, big, nor music, but there are artists and there are musicians. And if you like music, if you like painting, any types of art, you'll find it. It's out there. Musicians, for instance, are in those live streams on those platforms. I can't remember right now. Some platforms, and people donate money and they just play music. They can request or play something that it's theirs, and you just donate and they play it. That's where you find artists, musicians nowadays. It's in those platforms. And art, you can find paintings. You can find it all over YouTube. People painting for the audience. You know, so art is still, but of course, some people choose not to see it. Um, Leaving something to be remembered, right? What about these psychopaths that are in power? They are so mediocre and stupid. They will turn the world into chaos just so they can be remembered in the future as being, participants of a war or something. All the idiots that we read on history books about First World War, Second World War, etc. Maybe they did it for that reason, to be remembered. You know, children, yeah, you have children. They remember you, of course. What about the grandchildren? Now we have children late in life. Yeah, our grandchildren are little and we are extremely old. They don't hardly remember you. There's no emotion, memories, etc. connected. And most of the times, grandparents, they are, locked away in some resting home. Nobody cares about them. So even grandchildren won't even remember grandparents, correctly. After the grandchildren, nobody will remember you. So that's just my opinion. If you plant a tree, nobody will remember you. If you leave behind some art, people might remember you, but for the wrong reasons. Your family, your future family might remember you, maybe because they have some money to get from it. Maybe they'll remember you just because of that. You know, what about statues? Sometimes, do you know Ramses? Who? Ramses from Egypt? Everybody knows him. Look at the statue right over there. I'm like, really? So you think that's Ramses? Do you know 100% of, you know, 100% of Egyptology is Freemasons that invented? You know that, right? History, is full of self gratification, hubris, lies, deceit. Anyway, I'm ranting a little bit. I don't trust these old photographs. No, or old, video, old photographs, even paintings of celebrities. I don't trust them. For instance, those writers of classical music, I don't trust them. You know why? Because when I found out that most of these paintings was doctored, they were edited, they were bleached, they were painted over. I was like, oh, really? What about statues? When they couldn't change them, they broke their nose. They would smash the statues to hide history, to hide the facts, to bamboozle, to manipulate perceptions. What about photographs? Well, photographs, immediately after the invention, they invented Photoshop, the early stages of Photoshop. It was almost like in tandem. The first photographs appeared, editing of photographs appeared almost immediately. And I was like, yeah, that sounds logic. It was the Romans who were experts in keeping records, but they were also even more experts in doctoring the records. Photograph became a record, proof. Doctoring it became also essential. So went for the video, Photoshop. What about AI? What about books? Well, when you can't doctor books, you burn them. Now with the internet, you can alter, the meaning of things. For instance, I recently, someone caught this. I mean, I don't pay attention to this, but there's these writers that publish vegan books, and they were caught changing the meaning of things. They used to affirm things, right? But now they change it. Maybe, they change it to that. It may help. It supposedly do this. They change things little by little to to not be held accountable. Anyway, I completely failed at family, you know. Anyway, have a nice day.